Hey, my Legion. How you all doing today? I'm here today to review
Like, totally
the
killer.
View. Totally killer, man. Totally killer. Me and my buddy John. It's kind of weird. I heard about this. I saw something on Netflix way back in November called Time Cut. And people were saying it's like a ripoff of to the movie Totally Killer. But the weird thing is, Time Cut was made in like a year or two before that, and they couldn't find a distributor to release it. They said it wasn't releasable, and then I think they found Lionsgate or something like that released it, and then Totally Killed was made in 2023. But I mean, Time Cut didn't come out till 2024 on through Lionsgate, I think, and then Netflix picked it up. And Time Cut, I don't want to call it Time Killer. Time Cut was only so, but Totally Killer is really, really good. And it's about like this girl that they were talking about, like what was the Sweet 16 kills back in 1987 around Halloween time.
Which is when we, 87's the year we graduated.
Yep, graduated, yep.
87.
Yep, we graduated May 87. Right?
Old.
And that would have been like a month, well, a little less than like that. If I went back around Halloween 87, like about 3.5 weeks later, I went into the Army. Because I went like 2 days before Thanksgiving in 87. And anyways, they talk about that. And then later on, there became like some big cult thing. Like kids would dress up like that, killing stuff.
Which amounts to me look like a cross between Beavis from Beavis and Butthead and Max Headroom.
Max Headroom, yeah. And, all of a sudden, her mom got killed. And her friend had like a time machine, and she wanted to go back in time to stop the killing and save her mom. And then she goes back in time, and she said she's some foreign exchange student from Canada. And it's weird because they didn't have no like do you need any verification or result. She said, "What is this, Fort Knox?" And she just said, "Just fill this form out and go to your class." Or whatever.
Which I think was a little bit bullshit.
Yeah, a little bit bullshit though.
They would have checked.
They would check, but it's still really good. It was funny. They were talking about like the differences between different between like the 87 and how things are seen now. Maybe like, they said, "Are you going to let us out?" And she said, "I can't believe you guys are so homophobic." They never said homophobic back in the late 80s, to my knowledge. Or maybe they were not like I don't know. It was just weird. And then like, there was some difference in the timeline. That guy was like, "Wait, so I thought this was happening." Like, as someone who was observing that guy who did the podcast, right? He knew a whole about the story. So wait, so I thought something else was going on. They talked about the Mandela effect too. I thought it was really good.
That's
really
a great
enjoyed the movie.
cast.
Oh, wonderful cast.
As you look here, you got the main actress. She played Sabrina.
Yeah.
Chilling Adventure Sabrina. Then you've got Lachlan Monroe's been a lot of stuff like White Chicks, and then you have who was it? The mom from Modern Family, Julie Bowen, and then the dude from I want to say Adam Ant, but Ant-Man, Park,
and Blockbuster, that forgotten.
I never seen.
Oh, that was like a comedy show that bombed on Netflix. I thought about the last Blockbuster. I liked it though. I think I'm the only one on the planet that did. It got canceled on Netflix after one episode.
Well, it's good. Like, they had a lot of references to stuff. Like the main character, Jamie's named after Jamie Lee Curtis. Family's last name is Hughes, named after John Hughes. And as a nod to Heather's, her mom and her mom's friends back in the 80s call themselves the Mollies after Molly Ringwald.
And then there's a murder on a waterbed. I called it from the movie Pieces in 1984, 82, 84. So there was a murder on that, and then it was like, and he purposely missed it to stab the waterbed, because they did like a whole big thing. Like, I mean, it was more stylized than the Italian film, no, the Spanish film Pieces, Well, they said you don't have to go to Texas for a Chainsaw Massacre. I love Pieces. That was another great movie.
You loved it to pieces.
I love the pieces. I love them
I
pieces
love
to
it
pieces.
pieces.
Love them pieces to pieces. I love this movie. I thought it was really good. I liked it.
Yep.
I give it
totally killer.
a totally killer. I give it like a 9.5 out of 10. I loved it that much. Almost perfect.
So totally killer is totally killer.
Yeah, totally killer. Way better than Time Cut. I can't remember why I gave Time Cut. I mean, Time Cut's still watchable. If you want a double feature, watch this first, then Time Cut as an afterthought. If you're fascinated enough with this story, you might dig Time Cut, which I thought was all right. I didn't hate it. It just was nowhere near as good as this. You know, this might be a 9.5, where Time Cut might be a 5.5 or 6. You know, but if you're fascinated with this story, you might like Time Cut. But no, the Time Cut's not as good, and it's more like a Nickelodeon type, where this is like a decent R-rated film, hard R, where the other one's like a Nickelodeon PG, mild PG-13. So I hope you like this review, everybody. I give a 9.5 out of 10. Totally killer. Hope you like the review, everybody. Till next time, please take care, my legion.